Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro of the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, I'm sure a lot of you viewers know about an imaginative and creative chocolatier named Willy Wonka. But for those who don't know, he was created by children's novelist Roald Dahl, and he's appeared in two books, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 1964 and Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator in 1972, one of which I did a book report for during my high school age. Also, Willy Wonka has had several film adaptations like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in 1971, where he was played by the late great Gene Wilder, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005, where he was played by Johnny Depp, and believe me, it's been about 10 years since I blogged this Tim Burton classic. Also, in 2017, there was an animated crossover with Tom and Jerry, which was horrible. And there was a stage musical which opened on Broadway in spring 2017. Speaking of which, I got to see this whimsical show at the Segerstrom Theater in 2019 with YMCA's New Horizons. And while it was fun, I sadly caught a fever after the show was over. Not because I didn't like it, it's because maybe it's my health or something like that. Anyway, also to note, my friends at Musical Theater Village are currently performing this stage musical from September 6th to October 6th, 2024, with me playing Grandpa George and one of Willy Wonka's countless Oompa Loompas. By the way, you know what the funny thing is? Not long after the show was announced at last year's Queen's Ball, there was a new movie which told the story of Willy Wonka in his early days as a chocolatier. And of course, that's the subject of my blog today. Released on December 15th, 2023, the movie is Wonka. And now, on for the plot of the movie. Willy Wonka is the mastermind behind some of the most delicious and innovative chocolate creations the world has ever seen. But before shaking up the chocolate industry and making a name for himself as a confectionery genius, the ambitious young creator had to defy all odds. As a result, Willy Wonka transformed his wildest dreams into reality with a bold vision, determination, and unexpected help from new friends. After all, hard work and a dash of magic can make anything happen. Because, as Wonka already knows, it only takes a dream to make a difference. So, what do I think of this movie? Well, after seeing it in theaters with my family, I really loved it. And it's got to be one of my favorite movies of 2023, next to the Little Mermaid remake, Nimona, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Mavka the Forest Song, Wish, Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken, The Marvels, Blue Beetle, and several others. Anyway, to further explain why I love this movie, let's head over to Mustang Notes. Now, development on the movie began when Warner Brothers Pictures reacquired the rights to the character from Roald Dahl's estate in October 2016. The film was directed and developed by Paul King. He wanted to tell an original story while making it a companion piece to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory by reprising some of the music, thematic elements, and the visual design of the Oompa Loompas. Filming began in the United Kingdom in September 2021 with Seamus McGarvey as cinematographer, Nathan Crawley as production designer, Mark Everson as film editor, and Lindy Hemming as costume designer. By December 2021, McGarvey exited as cinematographer and Chung Chung-hoo replaced him. The movie's filming locations include Warner Brothers Studios Leavesden in Watford, as well as Oxford, Lyme Regis, Bath, St. Albans, and the Rivoli Ballroom in Crofton Park, London. The film's visual effects were supervised by Graham Page, while Dominic Sedali served as the visual effects producer. Visual effects vendors included Framestore, Outpost VFX, Goldcrest VFX, and Host VFX, whom were all providing over 1,163 shots. After the film was released, it received generally positive reviews, and it was a box office success, grossing about $632 million worldwide against a $125 million budget, making it the 8th highest grossing film of 2023. To me, this movie brings back a lot of fond childhood memories from the 1971 movie, and while Tim Burton had a nice idea with Wonka's childhood backstory, I believe Willy Wonka's origin story in this film shows a lot of color, flair, comedy, and magic. Plus, I think Galleries Gourmet looks like a very majestic looking place, and I like that the movie explores the themes of classism, capitalism, innovation, determination, prejudice, and discrimination, which kind of makes it a little bit dark and thought-provoking in a way. But then again, some of Roald Dahl's stories do have some darkness in them. I mean, have you guys ever read The Witches? Plus, in my opinion, some of my favorite scenes in this movie include the scene at the zoo, the scene where Wonka infiltrates Carter's headquarters, which is hidden underneath a cathedral, and the ending where Wonka purchases an abandoned castle and transforms it into his own chocolate factory. The film's original songs were written by Neil Hannon, and its original score was provided by Joby Talbot. In my eyes, aside from the classic Pure Imagination and the Oompa Loompa songs, my favorite songs in this film would have to be the opening song, A Hat Full of Dreams, both versions of You've Never Had Chocolate Like This, Scrub Scrub, For a Moment, and A World of Your Own. To me, these songs really make me smile, laugh, and make me want to get up and dance along with them. As for the other songs, well, I think Sweet Tooth is a very show-stopping and convincing villain song, and I think Sorry Noodle is a pretty short but emotional song. And that's all I got for Mustang notes. So let's head over to the film's cast. Willy Wonka is played by Timothée Chalamet, whom I remember from the Dune movies. In my eyes, Timothy does a really remarkable job as Willy Wonka. I find him to be a really whimsical, comical, and magical man. Plus, I think his singing and dancing is absolutely incredible, and I think it would make Gene Wilder smile from heaven. Also to note, I think it's pretty interesting that Wonka has a travel-sized chocolate factory that he carries in his suitcase, and I think his chocolate is very creative. Plus, I found it both funny and weird that he doesn't know how to read. Next we come to Noodle, played by Kayla Lane. Noodle is an orphan girl who works as a servant in the Scrubbit household. You know, I really like her. She's kind-hearted, curious, adventurous, brave, loyal, optimistic, and despite her difficult circumstances, she maintains a positive outlook on life, and she's always eager to help others. And I like that she helps Wonka with his chocolate business, and that she helps him learn how to read. Our next character is Lofty, an Oompa Loompa played by Hugh Grant, whom I remember from Aardman's The Pirates Band of Misfits and last year's Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Now, Lofty was originally tasked with guarding the cocoa beans on the island of Loompa-land, but after he dozed off and Wonka had stolen the last 4 remaining cocoa beans, The Oompa Loompas had him banished, and he could only come home after getting all the chocolate back from Wonka. To me, Lofty is a pretty sneaky character, mainly due to him stealing from Wonka in the middle of the night, and he also makes a decent supporting character, like when he saves Wonka and Noodle from the chocolate cartel's chocolate vault. By the way, when I auditioned for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at Musical Theater Village, I actually didn't want to be an Oompa Loompa, mainly because I never picture myself as one. But then, when my friend / director Ryan Fredericks cast me as Grandpa George, which was a role that I was satisfied with, he also cast me as an Oompa Loompa, and I wasn't very happy with that. And let me tell you, I was really scared that people would make fun of me with an orange face and white eyebrows, and it was really difficult washing my orange makeup off my face, then spreading it on. Next we come to two of the film's antagonists, Mrs. Scrubbit and Bleacher, played by Olivia Colman and Tom Davis. These two are laundry-owning con artists who run a hotel, which is in reality a laundry house. They are skilled manipulators who force Wonka, along with several other people, to pay excessive charges during their stays, and they are then told to sign a contract to have people work for them. And whenever they sign said contract and fail to read the small print, they are then forced to do labor for the rest of their lives as a result. In my opinion, Scrubbit is a very rude, arrogant, and manipulative person, believing herself to be superior to others, and I sort of see her as like a mix of Agatha Trunchbull from the Matilda movies and Aunt Sponge from James and the Giant Peach, while Bleacher is more dim-witted while acting like a henchman or assistant to Mrs. Scrubbit. Finally, we come to the film's main antagonist, the Chocolate Cartel, which consists of Arthur Slugworth, Gerald Prodnose, and Felix Fickelgruber, played by Patterson Joseph, Matt Lucas, and Matthew Bainton. For those who don't remember, these guys were chocolate-making rivals whom were jealous of Wonka's popularity, and they sent spies to steal his recipes. Anyway, in this film, they've been the most famous chocolate makers in the Galleries Gourmet for many years, and their goal is to make sure that no one else makes chocolate under their rule in order to avoid competition. But when Willy Wonka comes along and has them taste his hover chocolate, which gives anyone who eats it the ability to fly, they become so humiliated that they plot to thwart Wonka and attempt to run him out of business by any means necessary. To me, these three are greedy and manipulative businessmen, and I find them to be pretty similar to Bogus, Bunce, and Bean from Fantastic Mr. Fox. Throughout the movie, they blackmail the chief of police into doing anything they can to arrest Wonka by offering him 1,800 boxes of chocolates. They hire Mrs. Scrubbit and Bleacher to sabotage Wonka's candy, and they attempt to kill Wonka with a ship filled with dynamite. Now that, my friends, is really, really devious. Also to note, I think Slugworth has got to be the most evil out of the three, mainly due to him being the one responsible for abandoning his niece Noodle at Mrs. Scrubbit's place. Other actors in the film include Keegan-Michael Key as the chief of police, Rowan Atkinson as Father Julius, and Jim Carter as Abacus Crunch. And now on to my final words. Overall, Wonka is a really sweet movie. As much as I liked the 1971 Willy Wonka movie and the 2005 Tim Burton remake, I think this film is a chocolate masterpiece. The story is heartwarming, whimsical, fun, colorful, and a bit thought-provoking. The characters are very memorable, and the songs are absolutely delightful to listen to, while two of them were very nostalgic. In my opinion, this is a film you must watch if you were ever a fan of the original Roald Dahl book or the two live-action films. If you ever get the chance, be sure to check it out on DVD, Blu-ray, or HBO Max. And believe me, you and your families will have a lot of fun. I give it a full 100%. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time where we return to Enchantia to attend a royal wedding. Mustang power.